Hello everyone, my name is Art Alvarado. Today I'll be discussing SQ3R, why it was the most effective, why I found it interesting, and how it helped me to better manage these courses and also my learning strategies. So I'd first like to point out that if I'm being honest with myself, I do not have the most, or did not have any real strategy, for matter of fact, for getting through course readings. I honestly just read in a linear fashion. I read everything. It was very time consuming. It was very hard to uh, get a grasp of what I was reading because these 30-page readings, after a couple of pages, if you're not really tuned in, it's very easy to be distracted. So as far as the class went, the further it went, I started realizing I lacked a lot of skills, a lot of comprehension techniques, and I wasn't really effective with my strategy. So SQ3R, in the sense, really made sense and really changed the way I approached the course and all my readings from here on out. So there's some overlapping themes I'd like to point out that correlate back to this idea. SQ3R is essentially a reading strategy, and what you're primarily doing is you're more engaged and you're using a lot, you're applying a lot more effort. And we found in these three studies, or these two studies, that higher effort yields and better results. It's just a neurological connection between effort and retention, and I guess making these different connections and when you're thinking about these things in a deeper way, let's say. And so the first article I'd like to discuss is You as a selective highlighting article, in which we identify students and we assign different highlighting strategies. And we ultimately found, again, that more effort put in yielded to better results. And on both sides of the spectrum, whether you're over or under highlighting, right, did not really yield in much benefits. That's because people who under highlighted weren't really engaged, and people who over highlighted had a false sense of knowledge due to all the highlighting. But the people right in the center who were more selective with their highlighting and were putting more thought performed better and benefited the most. Secondly, Beer McDaniel's recall retention uh, organized revolved around organization through giving students an outline through the learning of a video game in this situation. And I believe that same concept of applying an outline to better understand something beforehand is ties in beautifully to SQ3R, because ultimately that's what you're doing. You can either mentally map out an outline or physically you can write these things down. And again, just that correlation between more effort and better understanding. So again, the way I read papers was not very effective. So again, SQ3R is pretty much a reading strategy. Very briefly, you survey, you turn all the prompts into questions, you read with those prompts in mind, then you answer that, you recite and review. So the only thing I'd like to say about as far as the reviewing aspect, which ties into the way it's benefited me, is through this course I had a lot of readings, and so what I did in terms of the review format, I modified it in where I would summarize the reading afterwards, and then I would do the uh, pretty much the cleaning up of the notes or my summary again, rather than reread the notes I took through that summary. And I pretty much had all these summaries of all the readings, and so this made studying for last exams and writing final papers very easy because I had a good summary, a good idea, and in that same summary, all my resources and quotes sort of lined up. So it was really easy to go back, extrapolate this information. It was very accessible, and the accessibility made it really easy to kind of be engaged with that information and just kind of tap into those ideas. And again, through the objectives, right? That's why of why all these things, all these studies found to be beneficial. It's because it makes it better to encode information and to pretty much abstract and make connections through all these themes and ideas. Very interesting stuff. And yeah, I hope this made some sense. I hope people find it interesting and can relate to my experience. Overall, very happy, even with this project because it kind of wrapped it all up and you know came full circle. And I was very, very well,